and respect. I would like to welcome you to the presidential complex, the home of our nation, this veteran venue. I would like to welcome our valuable guests who have attended our occasion from abroad. I would like to state that we are very much pleased to host them in our country, Turkey. After a 2 year break, as you, my dear brothers and sisters, with you, my dear brothers and sisters, I have had the chance to come together, whom I consider as the members of actions of benevolence. Bringing our hearts together with goodness and kindness, I would like to thank to Turkey Diyanet Foundation and the administrators of the foundation on behalf of my nation, and I would like to extend my special personal gratitude. Turkey Diyanet Foundation, with its successful work conducted for more than half a century, has been continuing to make brotherhood, goodness, kindness grow bigger and bigger, having set a sail with the aim to spread goodness across all corners of the world, has been making our flag of benevolence perpetuate proudly high in everywhere in the world. With this, they contribute to the bringing up of our young people, and I would like to congratulate them. Serving humanity is service to God Almighty. One of the most prestigious activities of Turkey Diyanet Foundation, with no doubt, is of course the International Benevolence Awards, conducted for the sixth time this year, spreading goodness and raising awareness about benevolence. These special awards, I believe, tackle a significant need in our country. Goodness will change the world is the motto through which we have started this mobilization of goodness. And thanks be to God, this action has been growing bigger and bigger and stronger on its path. With this, good hearts across the world have been building new bridges among one another. A heart that is thankful, a smiling face, and a grateful eye, indeed, are what makes us hope flourish more and more for the future. The kindness for this benevolence is now growing bigger both in our country and across the world. So much so that just a short while ago, we watched good stories of kindness in our country and from across the world. These good examples, indeed, are some only of the 500 goodness stories. Sraj Wahaj, Gamze Özçelik, Ali Önder Hoca, who is a carpenter for Mimbar, and all our recipients are who are sincerely congratulated. I would like to congratulate each and every one of them from the bottom of my heart. And may God bless us with your presence all the time. And as well, Yusuf Islam, who is not right now maybe with us, but whose heart is with us, is also profoundly congratulated. Yusuf Has Hacip in Kutadgu, Blig, says, we need respect for the good and also might against the evil. So these words with truth uttered thousands of years ago now turn out to be more and more accurate in our day to understand. The coronavirus pandemic we have been experiencing for the past 2 years has shown us the importance of sharing. This pandemic, which claimed the lives of more than 6 million, showed once again that the fate of the humanity is common. Thanks to this pandemic again, we have seen the irregularities, injustice, and unfairness in the world. Even the most developed countries of the world waged war against one another for masks. And ventilators were out of supply, and even nursing houses for the elderly have turned into morgues, if you will. There have been many patients who lost their lives due to lack of access to vaccines, and many patients who were in great pain. In Africa, Asia, or Latin America, billions of people faced challenges. And even though the challenge those billions of people had to endure could have been solved with solidarity, no step to find remedy has been taken. The people in particular in need were left to their own fates. In the face of this upsetting picture, as the state authorities, we have supplied all we could, from vaccines to medical supplies, from beds to their daily needs. And we have not turned our backs to the rest of the world like the West did. We have supplied many medical supplies, equipment, and critical materials to more than 160 countries and more than 10 international organizations across the world. With the vaccines we have had supplied from abroad, we have also started distributing our locally developed vaccine. At the third Turkey-Africa summit, we indeed gradually have been delivering 150,000 doses of Turcovac vaccine to our friends, our brothers and sisters in Africa. We have supplied many medical products across our borders. We have also have reached out to 5 million Syrian brothers and sisters. In a world where many people lost their lives due to lack of supply, where people could not find vaccines, and where the elderly were left to death in nursing houses, we indeed have never left anyone alone. And the Turkey Diyanet Foundation has played a crucial role in that. From our police officers to our soldiers, from our educators to social services staff, from our AFAD staffers to all other members of official authorities, institutions, and NGOs. Hundreds of thousands of people at the voluntary groups worked relentlessly day and night with a lot of self-sacrifice. They have sacrificed a lot from their own personal lives, and they have reached out to the more vulnerable sections of the society. Our ancestors said, "Make the humans live, so the state lives on." And following this motto, they have shown the kindness of our state one more time to the world. And as an testament of our fidelity to them, we present to them the Benevolence Awards one more time this year. Throughout the pandemic, the VEFA Social Support Group brothers and sisters deserve special thanks because they have never left our people alone, and I would like to once again extend my gratitude on behalf of my nation and my very self. And I pray to God pray to God so that He does not leave us with such a predicament, such a calamity one more time. Indeed, dear guests, it is vitally important to have might against evil and also benevolence for the good. We have been fighting against the separatist terror group for more than 40 years. Under different names, they do operate those terrorist organizations, but all of them have the same goal. They attack the welfare, well-being, peace, and security of our people and country. We are under the attack of these terrorist organizations from our police officers, law enforcement, and among our citizens, we have had many losses. Children, little infants, students attending to school, and very young teachers, and many other young boys who were distributing the meat of sacrificed animals. Many shop owners expecting for their customers to come. Many in prayers were slaughtered by these people. They set libraries, mosques, public places on fire. We have many times witnessed such barbarism. The members of a separatist terror group for more than 40 years, with recklessness only, burned, demolished, destructed only, but only, and also turned the lives of our Kurdish brothers and sisters into dungeons. They feed on the blood of our people, their tears. These people, from the first day on, have opened wounds on our people, regardless of their ethnicities. The Kurdish, the Turkish, the Caesarean, the Laz, the Abaza, and they opened the biggest wounds in the hearts of mothers. They sent young children to death, children that they stole away from their mothers, and they sent their own children to holidays on vacation abroad, and they have deprived the Kurdish children of goodness, and also then, on the other hand, sent their own children to the most luxurious schools across the world. The Diyarbakir mothers stood against the terror organization, and 15 years ago they did rise the flag of resistance, and they said Eddie Besser to this act of invasion. They said enough. A bunch of people now have been on the backs of our people for many years, and my brothers and sisters said to them enough. With their calls, with their night watches and many other watches they did sit in through and along, did break away this a vicious circle, and also exposed the faces of these terror groups. The Diyarbakir mothers outcried, said, "We want our kids back," and this brought about a major blow on the actions of this terror group. The dark, ugly face of the terror group has been revealed with the actions of a bunch of mothers, and with the opposition parties, media, writers, intellectuals, and politicians. Many did also show their faces. Those who served as the voluntary lawyers for those in Kandil Mountains for their short-term interests also have been exposed. Those who did job, who did business with the members of this terror group did exert a lot of efforts to silence Diyarbakir mothers. Every time they opened their mouth, they talked about women's rights, human rights, democracy, and liberties, but they have never supported the innocent protest of Diyarbakir mothers for one time. So I am saying this to the George or Helgas of the West. Why do you still keep silent? If those protesters were the members of that terrorist group, you would have not left Diyarbakir for a second. But now they are not the members of the terror group. You are not even knocking on their doors. The terror group and their political extensions, rather than reacting against those, there have been some who immorally blamed our state authorities. There were those who traveled to Diyarbakir just because they were afraid of the group and they even threatened these innocent mothers. We have seen some would-be politicians who even tried to scare those mothers away, and they didn't visit them to appeal the killers, the murderers of Yasin Börü, have never moved their fingers for the mothers whose children were abducted by terrorist organizations. Diyarbakir mothers have gone down in history with golden letters and with their principled and dignified stance. They have also revealed the fidelity they have. Another good example is that. That's why we have been awarding Diyarbakir mothers with the Benevolence Awards this year again, with their courage, sacrificing, and also mutual love for one another. The Diyarbakir mothers stood their ground, and I greet them one more time with the prayers, perseverance, and also the goodwill of the Diyarbakir mothers. We will be liberating our country from this calamity of terror with God's help. In modern world, the human beings turn more introverted and grow stranger and stranger to their own nature. Technological tools that are supposed to facilitate our lives offer a fake and virtual happiness and distance the human beings from real life. More and more, respect to the elderly is pushed away in this era, and the individuals are only working for their own interest and well-being, and we're being dragged into such a world. And this pandemic has shown us our weaknesses as human beings, and also that there are more important values that we should be chasing after in this life. It has reminded us all these. What matters is to be aware of the fact that we are only servants to God, and also revive the real values, the ancient, well-rooted values we have. And only we should be making kindness grow bigger and bigger, benevolence benevolence to spread more. And only then we can, with this take kindness to the core of our lives, render it continuous and sustainable. We have to. Once we achieve that, our conscience will be at ease and our lives and the world will be at peace, I believe. The tragedies ongoing around us do threaten our future and our independence. However, for our independence, peace, our state, and our motherland, we should be well aware, and these all indicate so. A hand that gives away is superior than the hand that takes in. And with this, we need to keep the doors of our hearts open to the victims and the oppressed. In Iraq, in Syria, in Afghanistan, they have traveled from those places, and now they have been coming from Ukraine, and tomorrow we cannot know from where they will come. However, this country will continue to be the uh, sanctuary, the asylum for the oppressed, for the victim all the time. Nobody should have a doubt about that. The leaders of the opposition, what do they say? They say that when we win the elections, we will be sending the refugees back at their home. But we will not. We will not. Because we know what Ansar is, and we know what Muhajir is. We know it as a method transferred to us over generations as legacy from our Prophet. He's the dearest of the dearest. He was himself a migrant, a muhajir. However, he was arm in arm and hand in hand with the Ansar. They were the people from Medina who helped immigrated Muslims, and then they were the migrants themselves. Those people who come from that civilization, who took their own share from such a civilization, would never say that they would send the refugees back to their homes if they would come to power. Now they say that if they come to power, they will be sending those refugees back home to Syria or Afghanistan. As a matter of fact, we will not. We will continue hosting them.
Ve bundan tedirgin değiliz. Ve ben sevgili milletime sesleniyorum. Sıkıntılarınız olabilir.
And we are not concerned about that. You might have some problems, and sometimes there could be some burden. However, never forget that this responsibility is great, and we have always stood with the downtrodden. But these people are the people who flee from the murderers who want to kill them. And that's why they come to our country, and they say that there's only one country we can find asylum in, Turkey, and that's why they come. That's why we will open our hearts. And we will never forget one fact. My dear brothers and sisters, God's help has always been near to us, and with this, with His help, we have always been strong. And the conquest came with the grace of God Almighty, and with that, Turkey has overcome many calamities. And now, as Turkey, we have been embracing all young from across the world. They are studying here. And Turkey Diyanet Foundation
uzatışıyla da
in this regard has reached out to many, and in a country such as Turkey, they on one hand learn Turkish and on the other hand study the science they're interested in. Is there anything more beautiful than that? But what does this other guy say? He says, I'll be sending them back home.
farkımız bu.
This is our difference.
Kendi insanlarımız içinde de hiç kimseyi mahzun,
And we will never leave anyone
kırık bırakmayız.
broken hearted.
Çünkü bizim medeniyetimiz, tarihimiz, kültürümüz, değerlerimiz bunu gerektiriyor. Başımıza gelen
This is what
onca
our
musibete
culture, our
rağmen
history, our
hala
civilization
dimdik ayakta
demands.
duruyor,
Despite
hala
all the
hedeflerimize doğru
predicaments
yürüyor
that came our
oluşumuzu
way,
işte bu
we stand
hassasiyetimizden
our ground, we
borçlu
stand
olduğumuza
tall,
inanıyorum.
and I believe that we
Ve
owe our strength
Allah nasip
to
ederse
our perseverance and
Cuma günü
sensitivity. And if God allows,
sonra
on Friday in the afternoon,
dünyanın sayılı bir köprüsünü
we will be inaugurating
nerede? Çanakkale. O Çanakkale'de
a
tarih
rare
bize neyi öğretti?
example of bridges in the
Çanakkale
world,
zaferini
the third in the
İslam
world, the
kime
Çanakkale Bridge.
karşı?
We
Haçlı
learned the victory
dünyasına karşı.
there. Against whom? Against the whole
Kimler bu
Crusader
mücadeleyi
world.
verdi?
And who put up with that
Kuzucuklar.
struggle? Do
Onlar
not
o
forget
mücadeleyi.
our
Üniversiteli kuzucuklar
little kids.
o zaman Çanakkale'de tüm Haçlı dünyasına
Back
karşı
then in the Dardanelles in
mücadeleyi
Çanakkale, they fought
O
this
zaman
war
zaferlerle
against the whole Crusader
şimdi
world,
biz
and this was
orada
how
dünyanın
the victory
bir
was
numaralı
claimed.
köprüsünü inşa
And
ettik
now we have built the number one
milyar
bridge
avro
of the world,
ve bu
2.5
köprüyü
billion euros of
inşallah
worth
Cuma
in
günü
cost. And
18
on
Mart
Friday, on March
açılışını
18th, we will be
yapıyoruz
inaugurating
ve
that,
tüm
inshallah.
insanlığa
And
bu
we
köprümüzü
will be
inşallah
gifting it
hediye
to
ediyoruz.
the whole world, inshallah.
Asya ile Avrupa'yı bağlıyoruz
It will be connecting Asia to Europe.
ve daha önceleri
And
gün geliyordu ki
before, there were
deniz
some days
dalgalı olunca
the sea was wavy, and the ships
Asya'dan Avrupa'ya geçiş, Avrupa'dan Asya'ya geçiş
were
adeta
not working,
mümkün olmuyor.
and passing
Ama şimdi
across
sokaklarda
the continents was not possible. But now, in 6 minutes, it will be possible for us to transit
bununla
across
dünyaya
continents over this bridge, and this stands
Yavuz
exemplary
Selim Köprüsü
in the
yapmaya
world. With a Yavuz Selim bridge, with the same
Avrasya denizin altından
Eurasia tunnel under the sea, with
hepsinden
that,
bir öte
with
çok
this
daha
tunnel as well.
Marmaray'la
And we,
Osman
beyond
Gazi
all,
Köprüsü'nü
did the
yaptık.
same with Marmaray and Osman Gazi Bridge.
Adıyaman arasında
In between Şanlıurfa and Adıyaman with Nisibi Bridge, we likewise did the same. We did
gençler
bear open mountains, and
araçla gidilemez denilen yerleri hallettik.
we went through places where people said
Ve 26
nobody could
havalimanımız
travel through.
varken
And
şimdi
when we
56
had
havalimanı
only 26
hepsinden
airports
öte
in the past, we have
76
56 now.
üniversitemiz varken
And beyond all,
şimdi
we only had in the
81
past
vilayetin
76
tamamında
universities, but now in all
207 üniversiteye
81
sahibiz.
provinces of our country, we have 207 universities totally.
Artık üniversitemizin olmadığı il
We do not have any city in our country where we do not have a university.
Hakkari'deki, Iğdır'daki,
In other words, in
Muş'taki
Hakkari, Iğdır,
gençimiz
Muş, all
üniversite
young
tahsili için
people
Ankara'ya veya
will
İstanbul'a
not have to
gelmiyor.
travel
Üniversiteyi
to
artık oraya
Istanbul
alıyoruz.
or Ankara for their
Artık
university studies. We took universities
hocalarımız,
to their foot,
profesörlerimiz,
to their feet,
doçentlerimiz
and we now
oraya gidip
have
misafir olmaz.
been offering that
Eğitimlerimizi,
chance to all our young
onlara
brothers and sisters, and our professors, our teachers also give them the opportunities at where they are. And this is our understanding of politics. And almost in all corners of Turkey, we have young people coming from across the world, and they do study. there in those cities. And thanks be to God, we have come to this day with perseverance and determination. But this is, of course, not enough. We will achieve more. And we would like to see you as our chiefs of mission across the world. I consider you as our ambassadors, and when we visit your countries, inshallah, you will be helping us, and we will succeed in that altogether with you, because in the past, from the past, I have many memories about that. I can never forget in Sudan, I participated to an international meeting. The late Erbakan Hoca assigned me for this, and I was the provincial head of our party, and I participated to the event. A young person, a Sudanese, who was accommodated at our dorms, saw me, and he approached me. Tayyip brother, he said, "What do you do here?" And I said to him, "But while I'm on duty, I will be participating to this conference." And I asked him how he knew me, and he said, "I stayed at your Fetih dormitory, and I continued with my studies. I was accommodated there, and now I'm back home." And there was another translator next to him, but I said to him, "Do not go anywhere. I will be making a speech, and you will be my translator instead of the other translator who disappeared." And I delivered my speech, and he translated what I said. There were many beautiful details about the speech, even the last remarks. There was
Sudanlı gençin tercümesi işi gayet iyi götürdü. Son anda da o günün
some issues related with the public opinion, and he interpreted what I had to say very beautifully. And the more I spoke, the more enthusiasm there was in the room, in the venue. So what matters is to touch the people of people. And you, all young people, when you go back home, I believe you will be our eyes, our hands, our feet there, and our smiling faces there back home when you travel back home. And with you, and thanks to you, I believe that we will be undertaking many greater services. As I conclude with these thoughts, I would like to thank to each and every brother who has brought about goodness, and may God always keep us on the path of the good, and all those who devote themselves to goodness. I would like to thank you all very much. Stay in health.
Müsaadenizle bir müddet daha sahnede ağırlamak istiyoruz Sayın Cumhurbaşkanım. Ödül törenine geçiyoruz hızlı bir şekilde. İlk olarak Yusuf İslam Beyefendi'yi burada ağırlamayı, kendisine bizzat ödülünü takdim etmeyi çok arzu ettik ama maalesef özel sebeplerden dolayı katılamadıkları için bizlere hitaben bir video mesaj gönderdiler. Yusuf İslam Bey, o videoyu hep birlikte izleyelim, arkasından ödül törenimize devam edeceğiz.
Assalamu alaikum, President Erdoğan, President Ali Erbash, and all brothers and sisters at Diyanet. I'm very honored to be chosen for this Benevolence Award, and I appreciate the recognition for the work we've been doing over the years, alhamdulillah. Making the world a better place is